Good morning, everyone. Greetings from the Institute of Global Professional Bangladesh. Greetings from the Institute of Global Professional IGP Bangladesh. Thank you all for joining us and staying with us till the end. Good morning, everyone. Greetings from the Institute of Global Professional IGP Bangladesh. Thank you all for joining us and staying with us till the end. Honorable Knowledge Seeker, today I am your host for the morning. My name is Yani Sakta Chaudhary and I am from Bangladesh. Dear Knowledge Seeker, I am proud to be associated with IGP as a global member. IGP is a social and ISO certified international training institute. In 3 years, we already served 3 million knowledge seekers from 100 plus countries. IGP is internationally recognized and globally accredited. We are connected to more than 250 plus professions and 4,500 plus organizations. Institute of Global Professionals (IGP) and ISO 9001 2015 and 10002 2002 10,002 and 2018 is the training faculty for skill development, which was founded in 2020 and is generating competent candidates to meet demand in the global labor market by providing professional qualifications. The Institute of Global Professional is an educational institute that provides social work globally recognized and reputable. We serve student and community resource providing holistic social work and education. We believe that it is not effective to increase one's skill just by acquiring formal education. So we provide effective training and consultation to generate professional generation all over the world. We distribute our services locally, nationally, internationally to students, job seekers, job holders, and also for learners through respective campus location and distance learning platforms. We are an occupational and dependable institution. IGP is one of the famous online institutes from all over the world. Our vision is education is not a business product, it's a part of our human rights based on our vision. We are trying to reach all corners of the world for free webinars, seminars, courses, awards, quiz competition, mentoring, counseling aids. On the other side, we also trying to serve more than 100 premium services for free like with own portfolio website, resume builder, cover letter, motivation letter, and world knowledge platform for gathering general knowledge which can upgrade all day. Kids Learning Game website, free courses, converter sites, and many, many more. We have to empower youth to learn to meet the expectations and dreams and become highly skilled people. We implement several trainings, programs, webinars, and offline online courses for youth and learners by professional trainers, speakers, and coaches. Our sessions are conducted by globally renowned professionals to develop all kinds of youth and to promote the education of their abilities and personalities. To ensure excellent and in-depth instruction, we are arranged with qualified trainers, speakers, and instructors. We extend free services to more than 3 million knowledge seekers in the last 3 years. We have affiliation with universities and organizations in 70 different countries. Virtual moon signing with many colleges and organizations have been accomplished. We are working to create a legendary generation of future scholars and citizens who will be accountable. We are constantly prepared to assist all knowledge seekers with valuable service. Spreading knowledge is crucial for the Institute of Global Professional. We believe that knowledge is love, light, and vision. So we try to understand the needs of today's generation and we serve them with good research and practice method. We must have a genuine concern for the learners. We represent more diversity, growth, and innovation are required. To lead a session with professionalism, passion, and integrity, IGP members are committed to offering effective best quality service and continual improvement so that individuals who seek information can improve their skill levels and value. Before you move to the next, let me remind you don't forget to share, tag, and mention your friends in the comment box. Before you move to the next, let me remind you don't forget to share, tag, and mention your friends in the comment box. Your support is very valuable to us. Thank you. Moving to the next, with your continuous support, we already completed 1,374 webinars successfully. At present, now we are going to start 1,375, and our program name is Assessing Kindergarten Learner Amidst Pandemic. Today we have our speaker. Our speaker name is Jordan P. De La Roca. He is from Philippines. He is a Linijan Elementary School, Ilijan, Batang City from Philippines. So now it's time for to invite our speaker with his presentation. Now very important moment for me to invite our speaker with his presentation. Welcome, sir.
Hi,
Hi, sir. Sir, good morning, sir.
good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, good evening to all our lovely IGP knowledge seekers and well wishers. Welcome again back to me because this is my second time here in IGP. Of course, thank you so much, IGP, for the opportunity that you always given us like to speak here in IGP.
Okay, thank you, sir. Sir, please give some description about yourself. Then you can start your presentation.
Okay, so I will start now, ma'am.
Sir, please give some description about yourself.
Okay.
Then you can
So, by
start.
the way, again, my name is Mr. Jordan Palma de la Roca, and I am from Philippines, a kindergarten teacher. And I taught also in Thailand for 8 years and then came back here in the Philippines to teach again. And of course, I finished my master's degree in preschool education. And now I'm taking up my doctoral degree, PhD, again in here in the Philippines. So I'm happy to share my knowledge and ideas on how I handle my kindergarten learners and my kindergarten journey here in the Philippines and abroad.
Okay, sir. Thank you. You can start now. The stage is yours.
Okay, okay, thank you. Okay, so again, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. I'm happy to share again my topic for this time. Okay, so at first, as you can see, I am teaching kindergarten learners here in the Philippines, and this is my classroom. So that is before the pandemic. So as you can see, it is easy for me to identify and assess the ability, capability, and skills, of course, of my children, of my learners. But this time, I want everyone to know my technique, my study, if in case our time is in pandemic again. So, our topic for this time is assessing kindergarten learners amidst pandemic. So it is not easy or difficult to assess kindergarten learners here in the Philippines last time during pandemic time, because in assessing kindergarten learners, we need to observe, we need to check every skills that the learners and children learn inside the classroom. So it is difficult if they will stay at home and you as a teacher just only do some visitation, some techniques on how you can assess. So it was my problem last time to to identify uh, the good and perfect or reliable assessment result based in the pandemic time. So this time, before we proceed or before we go on the topic on how to assess kindergarten learners amid pandemic, I want you to I want you to know what is assessment and what is testing. So, because primary grade 1 to grade 6 here in the Philippines, they have this what we call tests and even kindergarten. But what is assessment versus testing? Let's have the assessment. So assessment is the process of collecting, synthesizing, and interpreting information to aid classroom decision making. It includes information gathered about pupils, instruction, and classroom climate. So that is what we call assessment. While testing is a formal, systematic procedure for gathering a sample of pupils' behavior. The results of a test are used to make generalizations about how pupils would have performed on similar but untested behaviors. So remember, assessment is different from testing because testing is just only a part of assessment. Okay? So that is very clear. So there are also different types of assessment. So what are the types of assessment? Number one, we have developmental screening assessments. We have diagnostic assessments, readiness assessments, and achievement assessments. So what is the difference between the first up to fourth types of assessment? So let's have the first one. So the first one is the developmental screening assessments. What is this? So in here, it observes how your child grows and changes over time and whether your child meets the typical developmental milestones in playing, learning, speaking, behaving, and moving. That's why the name is developmental screening. In diagnostic assessments, we have to assess a learner's current knowledge based or current views on a topic or issue to be studied in the course. So here, it is evident and clear that in diagnostic assessment, it is the current knowledge base, okay? And the third one is the readiness assessments. So in this assessment, it is on how you will determine if there are potential barriers to success. Okay? So in readiness assessments, you will assess the learner's capability if they are capable based on the potential barriers, or if is there any barriers on how the child will success or succeed in this kind of assessment or in this kind of skill. And the fourth one is achievement assessments. It is designed to measure the knowledge, skills, and abilities attained by a learner in a field. So that is the assessment normally do in grade 1 to grade 6 high school and even college students. So again, we have what? We have four types of assessment. The first one is the developmental screening assessments, diagnostic, readiness, and achievement assessments. Okay? So there are issues in assessing learner, or there are issues of assessment. Of course, number one, the first one is uses of child assessment. How we can use the assessment to the child. Number one, assessment can provide four types of information for about children and their parents, teachers, and programs. So we have four, the children, the parents, teachers, and programs. Okay, information on those. Number two, we can identify children who may be in need of specialized services. We have to plan also the instruction for individuals and groups of children. Also, we need to identify program improvement and staff development needs. Lastly, we need to evaluate how well a program is meeting goals for children. So the issues, number one is the uses of child assessment. Number two is the reliability and validity. So what is reliability? When you say reliability, it refers to the consistency or reproducibility of measurements. Okay, consistency, okay, and reproducibility of measurements. Okay, then when we say validity, it is the degree to which a test measures what is supposed to measure. Okay, whether it is valid or not valid. Okay, so the issues in assessment is reliability and validity. Next, so in kindergarten or among preschool learners or preschoolers, we have this what we call ECCD assessment methods. Okay, so we have number one, the standardized testing. Number two, we have the informal assessment methods. So in informal assessment methods, we have the authentic assessment or real life testing. So again, number one, the standard testing. We can give them paper and pencil assessment. But number two is what you call informal through observation, through playing, okay? And a real life testing. Okay? And that's what we call authentic assessments. And we have also observations. So through our observations, we can do anecdotal records, checklists, and rating skills. And of course, number four, based on their outputs, we have the portfolio assessment. Okay? So that is the basis on how or which our learners will be, proceed to the next level. It is the evidence. That's what we call portfolio assessment. Based on the outputs they gathered quarterly, weekly, okay? So that's what we call our portfolio assessments. Number five, we have the teacher ratings. As a teacher, you need to rate all the learners to assess them. Number six is the parent also ratings. So the teacher, together with the parents, of course, they will help each other on how they will prove that the learner learn certain skills. Okay, that's what we call assessment. So we have also the criteria of reliable and valid preschool assessment. So it's not only just give this assessment you got from the internet, that this assessment, and then you apply to your learners. No, you need to have this criteria of reliable and valid preschool assessment. Number one, we have assessment should not make children feel anxious or scared. Of course, you cannot get the reliable result if they are anxious or scared on your assessment. Number two, information should be obtained over time. Correct. Number three, an attempt should be made to obtain information on the same content area from multiple and diverse sources, especially when repeated instances of data gathering are not feasible. So, you need to attempt also again, or you need to do another assessment to obtain information on the same content area to uh, prove that that is the result, to prove that why it is the same, they are the same, or maybe there are lapses. So you need to you should attempt again your assessment or check again your assessment. Next, number four, the length of the assessment should be sensitive to young children's interests and attention spans. Of course, the children, their attention spans are very short. So you need to consider also the length of your assessment. Number five, testing for purposes of program accountability should employ appropriate sampling methods whenever feasible. Correct. Okay. And so let's proceed to the topic, which is assessing kindergarten learners during or amidst pandemic. So as you can see, I have this my poster because I already presented my research all about this, which is the title, The Implementation of Localized Monitoring Tool as the Basis for Assessing Kindergarten Learners Amidst Pandemic. So this is my poster I presented in division level, regional level, and even international level. Okay, so I have this. Okay, the implementation of localized monitoring tool as the basis for assessing kindergarten learners amidst pandemic. So as you can see, my study focuses on modular distance learning approach were used as a mode of teaching and learning in the researcher's school in my school. So as a kindergarten teacher, finding ways on how to have a reliable assessment not only from the submitted outputs, but most importantly are the results of monitoring tools and parents' feedback on every detail of teaching and learning at home. So this action research or this research focused on my localized monitoring tool because as I told you, it is very difficult for me to assess, to give a reliable assessment to my learners based only in their modules. No, so maybe I don't know whether the children did the module or somebody helped children to finish this kind of skills or in the module. So it is, questionable for me. That's why I made this localized monitoring tool, which I will show you later. Okay. So my methodology here is the descriptive research or descriptive method of research. So the researcher used the descriptive of research to study the status of localized monitoring tool as the basis for assessing kindergarten learners in Ilihan Elementary School Division of Batangas City, which focused on how to validate and assess learners in modular distance learning. And even though it is very small, I mean tiny, these are my localized monitoring tool. The first one is the observation of parents and at home. So I have this checklist whether yes or no, and the reaction form, which all about module, all about their writing, all about their reading skills, and also all about numeracy, okay, literacy and numeracy. Okay, next. So this is the form also. I have, we had here in our district, in our division, from our supervisor, which is related to my localized monitoring tool. So I am happy to show you also. So this tool track the utilization of learners' materials, monitoring of learners' performance in modular approach. I have this monitoring tool for tracking and the status of learners with significant delay of development. Of course, that is our focus. If we have this kind of assessment, or the ECCD assessment, and one or mostly, or there are children which they will fall on significant delay of development. So that is the focus. We need to, we need to do some intervention for them to make their status become higher. Okay. And I have this individual learning monitoring plan. So of course I have my plan individually on their status based on the assessment. So that is okay. I will show you again from the start. These are my monitoring tool, localized monitoring tool of our division by our kindergarten supervisor. And as you can see, the research questions I have is number one, what are the profile of the respondents in terms of? So I need to know the profile of the respondents, the parents, of course, or the guardians. Number two, what are the common problems encountered by the parents in teaching and learning in connection to interests of learners in studying at home, attitude and behavior of learners while studying, and etc. And number three, what is the number three is what what are the other supplementary materials needed by the parents in teaching at home? And number four, what project may be proposed in relation to monitoring and assessment tool? Okay, so that is my research question. Next, so I will show you the results. So the first one is the profile of the respondents. So most of the respondents are female, 36 and above at age. The educational attainment is junior high school and occupation is housekeeper. So which means most of the guardians and the parents can teach, can supervise the kindergarten learners. It is says here that most of the respondents experience teaching and learning process by themselves. Most parents who are after the children is studying are females because of the reason that most males work outside the house and females stay at home for the household, including the guidance in teaching and learning of their children. So respondents also can easily understand the instructions and follow guidelines in performing procedures. Thus, effectiveness will be granted. There's high percentage that parents can assist and guide the learners based on their occupation. So the result shows that they are capable of teaching kindergarten learners at home. So number two, what common problems encountered by the parents in teaching and learning? We have the interest of the learners. Okay, so the interest of the learners, they actively joins during in every activity at home. On attitude and behavior of learners while studying, oh, they always follow their parents or their advice of their parents. And based on the time management of both learner and parent, they can submit modules on time. So as you can see, the result, it is very clear that the interest of learners is easily aroused and sustained. This means that learners are more dependent on the help of parents in the learning process at home. This result was affected by the attitude and behavior of learners while studying, specifically in relating to the guidance of his her parent. So it is also clear that based on the problem they encountered or the parents encountered at home, they can manage. Okay. And so the conclusion is number one, the profile of the respondents, such as age, gender, educational attainment, and occupation, had a significant effect on the teaching and learning at home in this time of pandemic. I mean, during the time of pandemic. So, as to the common problems encountered by the parents in teaching and learning at home, the findings revealed that the attitudes and behaviors of learners while studying and their interests in learning, even in this pandemic time, was still eager on track. So they are, still on the go, on uh, the track. And number three, there was really a need to make and provide other supplementary materials that are for the support, enrichment, or intervention. This was through the positive result from the localized monitoring tool, which was supported and completed by the parents. And number four, the proposed project may be a big help for teachers and parents in tracking, monitoring, and assessing learners even they are on the next level already. It can also use and apply for the incoming kindergarten learners and also approve on making proper and reliable assessment for every learner. And for the recommendation, the implementation of localized monitoring tool is highly recommended. If uh, we will experience again this kind of pandemic or any kind of interruptions, class interruptions, this localized monitoring tool is highly recommended. So teachers and parents may have a monthly quarterly meeting. So the parents will be aware of the children's performance. The teachers can help the learners and parents on how to improve their performance and skills based on the assessment. Teachers should continue providing supplementary materials for learning and for teaching and learning while the learners are at home. So teachers and parents must be or must exhibit positive attitude towards teaching and learning process even in time of pandemic as this will greatly affect learners' performance and behaviors as well. So, a similar study may be conducted to complete the study regarding localized monitoring tool as the basis of assessment for kindergarten learners. So, this assessment of kindergarten learners amidst pandemic is based on the monitoring tool and also based from the the cooperation of every parent of all the parents of my kindergarten learners. I cannot have this kind of assessment or correct and reliable assessment without the help of the parents because also parents also need to write and jot down all the important and small details that their children did at home while doing the task, while reading the phonics or the sounds of the letters or any two syllables words or also the numeracy from numbers 1 up to 20 or up to 100, and how they can write this the spelling of the numbers and also of the willingness of the parents. So I salute my all my guardians of the parents and also all the teachers, kindergarten teachers who also supported me for this. And of course, uh, based on the assessment that I saw, that I did for my learners, I have this kind of reflection, and I want everyone to reflect on this because based from the topic starting kinds of assessment or assessment versus testing until the assessment during pandemic. I want everyone to finally reflect on this. So this is the animal school. So many years ago, the animals in Great Forest decided that they wanted to start a school for all their children. Until that time, it had been the responsibility of parents to teach their children the skills they needed to know. But the animals in the great forests wanted their children to learn from professional teachers. So they organized a school and hired staff. So the teachers met and decided that to provide a standardized educational curriculum to their animal students. So they adopted an activity curriculum consisting of swimming, running, flying, and climbing. All the animals took all the subjects because it was very important them, not to the child, no child be left behind. To ensure that students were progressing satisfactorily, standardized achievement tests were administered to all students. So what happened? Here's what happened. The ducks were excellent in swimming. In fact, the ducks were better than their teacher. But some of the ducks made only passing grades in flying, and all of them were very poor in running, since they are slow in running. They had to stay after school for remedial running practice during, and they had to drop swimming in order to practice running during their swimming classes time. This was kept all until the ducks' 12 feet were very sore. And the ducks were so tired that soon they were only average in swimming. But average was acceptable in school, so nobody worried about that except the ducks. In running, the rabbits started at the top of the class, but they did very poorly in swimming. Also, the rabbits insisted on hopping around, and the teachers were concerned about their hyperactivity. So, they made the rabbits walk everywhere instead of allowing them to run or hop. And the rabbits had to come in early every day for special swimming class. Many of the younger rabbits developed severe fall problems because they were having to spend so much time in the swimming pool. They have also the squirrels, and the squirrels were excellent in climbing and running. In fact, the squirrels were the best students at climbing and standardized tree, but they wanted to fly by the first climbing the tree, then spraying their paws and gliding to the ground. That's the new way squirrel fly. But in flying class, their teacher made to start on the ground instead of the tree top. And the squirrels were not mastering the course material. So every day, squirrels had therapy. A flying therapist took the squirrels into the gym and made them do front paw exercise to strengthen their muscles so they could learn to fly right away. The squirrel's paws hurt so much from this overexertion that some of them only got a C in climbing. Some of the squirrels failed climbing altogether. The eagles were definitely problem children. In climbing classes, the eagles beat all the others to the top of the tree, but they insisted on using their own way to get there and were quite stubborn about it. The eagle said that clearly it was the goal that mattered, and that is why quite right for eagles to get to the treetop by flying. So the school psychologist diagnosed them as having oppositional defiant disorder. That's a real diagnosis that some children are given in school. So a strict behavior modification plan was developed for eagles. So as you can see, in conclusion, developing and implementing a balanced approach to assessment is not an easy or inexpensive undertaking. As we heard the story, they have every animal or every individual has their own strength, of course, and weaknesses. So when we apply in assessing learners in assessment, it is says that we need to develop or we need to implement a balanced approach, no? And because we value our children and respect those charged with their education, it is an investment worth making. So as a teacher, as a kindergarten teacher, I need to prepare different techniques, different strategies on how my children or my learners will learn and develop their skills. Not literally all the skills, but somehow they will learn most of the skills that they need to develop during their life here in kindergarten. And this is my topic, which is again assessment or kindergarten assessment during pandemic. So as you heard, I have this kind of assessment, or I mean, there is a particular localized monitoring and tracking tool for my learners for I am going to give them a reliable assessment for them. So, thank you also for the owner of the presentation and also for my supervisor for the localized monitoring tool of the division of Batangas City here in the Philippines. And also, I have this kind of monitoring tool which I also conducted here, and I have this kind of project, what I call Project Radar, reflect, analyze, develop assessment through reporting of the parents. So this is all about my topic. Thank you for listening. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much, IGP.
Thank you so much, sir, for your rich content presentation, which can impact our knowledge seekers surely. After your presentation, I hope our knowledge seekers can learn something new, which was our only intention, learn and grow together IGP knowledge seekers. Once again, thank you so much, sir. Sir, it's time for our question answer session, which is the one more valuable part of our regular webinars. Honorable sir, please stay with us. After a short video, we'll be back in our session part 2, which is our question answer part. Okay, sir? Dear IGP knowledge speaker, please ask your question in the comment box as much as you want to know from our speaker. Thank you. After question answer, we have our certification and online quiz competition. Dear IGP knowledge seeker, please ask your question in the comment box as much as you want to know from our speaker. Once again, welcome back everyone. Dear IGP Knowledge Seeker, it's time for our question answer session. Dear IGP Knowledge Seeker, please ask your question in the comment box as much as you want to know from the speaker. Thank you. After question answer, we have our webinar certification and online quiz competition. Dear IGP Knowledge Seeker, please ask your question in the comment box as much as you want to know from our speaker. Thank you. Participants are requested to ask their question in our comment box. If you have any question, you can ask in our comment box. Our speaker will answer those questions. Let's welcome back our speaker. Once again, welcome back, sir. It's time for our question answer session. Here, IGP Knowledge Seeker. We are waiting for your question. So please, if you have any question, you can ask in our comment box. Dear IGP Knowledge Seekers, we're still waiting for your questions, so please, if you have any question, please ask in our comment box. Um, so I think there is no question. Uh, I hope you covered all the topic in our presentation, so that's why there is no question. Once again, thank you so much, sir, for your time in IGP. We have learned a lot from you with your new topics. It will add some value to our day-to-day activity along with our academic and professional growth. Honorable sir, hope to see you again with a new topic at your new date. Thank you, sir, and take care. Sir, before we move to the next session, next process, if you want to leave this studio, you can. Okay.
Okay, again, thank you so much.
Dear IGP Knowledge Seeker, today are some technical problem. We cannot share our certificate code. We provide our certificate code in a short time. Thank you. Dear IGP Knowledge Seeker, today are some technical problem. We cannot share our certificate code. We provide our certificate code in a short time. Thank you. Dear IGP Knowledge Seekers, today are some technical problem. We cannot share our certificate code. We provide our certificate code in a short time. Thank you. Dear IGP Knowledge Seeker, it's time for the most engaging part, which is our quiz competition, which is our regular webinar activity. Now, time for the online quiz competition. To join our online quiz, you have to follow my instruction carefully. First, you have to go www.slido.com. Then you have to enter the code, and the code is global IGP, and the code is global IGP. After a short video, you'll be back, and so please everyone join in our quiz session and don't forget to mention your friends. So let's enjoy our quiz competition. Once again, welcome back everyone. It's time for our quiz competition. If you want to join our quiz session, you have to follow my instruction carefully. First, you have to go www.slido.com and find today's quiz or scan this QR code for direct joining. And our quiz code is Global IGP. And our quiz code is Global IGP. It is easy to join, so mention your friends to join our quiz session. We'll pick your name from Slido, so join with your full name, which will directly printed on your certificates. And top 10 will be awarded with quiz completion certificates. Dear IFGP knowledge seeker, we are still waiting for your joining, so please everyone join as soon as possible. We have already 18 people. To join our quiz session, please follow my instruction carefully. First, you have to go www.slido.com. Then you have to enter the code, and the code is Global IGP, and the code is Global IGP. Already 20 people joined with us. We're still waiting for your joining, so please join. If you want to join our quiz session, you have to follow my instruction carefully. First, you have to go www.slido.com. Then you have to enter the code, and the code is Global IGP. And the code is Global IGP. Now we are going to start our quiz session. Let's start. Our first question is, when asking kindergarten student, you must be true or false. Is it true or false? And the correct answer is false, and 36% people are right. Then next question. What is the primary reason for assessing a student in kindergarten? Is it option understand development, second option determine present performance levels? And the correct answer is option 1, understand development. 45% people are right. And the third now question. When assessing kindergarten student for respective language disorders, and SLP would most likely ask students to option 1, depict sentence to or detail a story. Second option, follow 2 or 3 step instruction. And the correct answer is option 2, follow 2 or 3 step instruction. 19% people are right. Next question. What are the two other major reasons for assessing student in kindergarten? Is it option reading fluency and numerical awareness? Second option is progress monitoring and identifying students at risk. And the correct answer is option 2, and 28% people are right. Move to the next question. Premier imposes restriction on business amid this pandemic. Is it federal? And second option, provincial. And the correct answer is option 2, provincial, and 37% people are right. And I think our next question, and the question is: amidst COVID pandemic, education must go on true or false? True or false? And the correct answer is true, and 100% people are right. Then we are going to see our next question. And the question is all except one is online library service amidst pandemic. Is it option 1, online research and reference assistance? Second option is online reservation. The correct answer is option 2, online reservation, and 70% people are right. Then next question. I need to see our next question, and the question is: e-learning decreases interaction and engagement with student and amidst pandemic. Is it true or false? And the correct answer is false, and 46% people are right. And we're going to see our next question, and the question is: what gives a student many opportunities to further their education amidst a global pandemic? Is it virtual learning? And second option, new textbooks. Guidance is virtual learning, and 100% people are right. Then next question is our last and final question: assessing learners' performance, behavior, effort, and contribution. Is it teacher role, second option assessor? And our correct answer is option 2 assessor, and 24% people are right. Congratulations, Charlie Saliajo Yamaguchi. He's a top one. In second position, we have Namisa Aidam. In third position, we have Christopher Abinat. In fourth position, we have in fifth position, Hujjaifa Hossein Dato. Congratulations, our top 10 IGP winner quiz competition winner. We have all of your name which you entered during journey. We'll pick your name from Slido and prepare certificate and we'll post them on our Facebook official page and group. Our Facebook official page and group name is Institution of Global Professional. Uh, at the end moment of our session, we can say, feel your skill, never stop learning, cause life never stop teaching us. Be happy and stay safe. We want you to participate in your on our every program. See you again and again. If you want to live a happy life, try to goal, not the people or things. Albert Einstein. Before I hit or end the live button, again wants to thanks all IGP knowledge seeker for your active participation as always. See you in the next session. Till that, stay happy and blessed. Thank you so much, everyone.